All right, this is your college baseball schedule of the week. First, you have Alabama versus Tennessee, BYU versus Arizona, Oklahoma State versus Texas Tech, Washington versus Michigan, Texas State versus Coastal Carolina, West Virginia versus Cincinnati, Troy versus Marshall, USF versus ECU, NC State versus Virginia Tech, Clemson versus Louisville, Texas A&M versus Florida, Georgia Tech versus Wake Forest, Texas versus Vanderbilt, Oklahoma versus Auburn, LSU versus Mississippi State, Kansas State versus Kansas, Louisiana versus Arkansas State, Georgia versus Ole Miss, Baylor versus Arizona State, Purdue versus USC, North Florida versus FGCU, Xavier versus St. John's, UC Santa Barbara versus Fullerton, Wright State versus Milwaukee, Kent State versus Western Michigan, Bucknell versus Army, ETSU versus Western Carolina, Southern Miss versus South Alabama, Bethune-Cookman versus FAMU, and then Utah Tech versus Cal Baptist U. Go watch those games this weekend, and go watch our newest episode on Across the Board, and go follow us on all our socials to keep up with the new videos.